Good morning, North America. Welcome to Church Talk TV. Lively talk about life, church, and church life. I'm your co-host, Dr. Bill Tenney-Britton, and I'm joined, as usual, by my co-host, Dr. Kris Tenney-Britton, and we're broadcasting from our studio in Columbia, Missouri, the heartland of America. Say good morning, Kris.
Well, good morning, and welcome to Church Talk TV.
Kris and Bill Tenney-Britton here today to talk about a convoluted title. You know who wrote this stupid title? Reach and impressions, make them count.
Well, in a way, what we're talking about is marketing, which we know before you hit off or go. Yeah, we always ourselves hated that word. But here's the bottom line. Marketing, selling ourselves, getting the word out. We like couching it in evangelism. Marketing is not evangelism, and trust us, evangelism is not marketing. It's not getting your word out, really. But it really is getting your word out and doing that effectively. And that's what we want to talk to you about today. But getting that word out is not as simple as posting every now and again or even every day on your Facebook page or
using your sign.
Twitter or your sign or anything.
Yeah, right. All of that is...
It truly is an art. So we've got to give you some basics, say 101 marketing, if you will. You didn't get this in seminary if you went to seminary or Bible college or in our seminars, our works, our classes that we teach for Phillips Seminary. We're not even able to teach it in there because time doesn't allow, and it's such a broad. It takes a whole course in and of itself.
And it's a specialty. I mean, it's a specialty thing, but the problem is that we've not learned this art, and so we approach our, whether you want to call it marketing or whatever, kind of piecemeal. We just throw a little bit up here and throw a little bit up there and hope it works. And without a plan,
right? A concerted,
then it just, it's strategy.
It's symphony. It's an art.
Yeah,
right?
It is. And so we want to share that with you today in in a half hour. But we're gonna do a little bit about marketing 101, and then we're going to bring it home and we're going to talk about how it applies to you and how you can use what we're about ready to teach you and what we're going to teach you, how to reach people for Jesus Christ.
But first we have to start with marketing 101, and who better to do that than my esteemed colleague, my husband, the Reverend Dr. Bill Tenney-Britton.
All right, so here we go. All right, listen. We're talking about impressions versus reach, and I want to just real quick, I need you to understand. Stay with me for a moment so you understand the difference. When we talk about making a best impression, we're talking about hospitality and whatnot. But in marketing, the word impression has a completely different meaning. The word impression means how do you serve your ad? How do you get your message in front of the right people? How do you garner some attention? And every time you see a billboard, if you don't read it, even if you don't read it, that's an impression. If you read it, that's reach. So the messages are out there, and every time one of your messages, and I'm talking about your message, your marketing, come to our church, let us tell you about our fish fry and all that. Every time you put it in a newspaper, and if your newspaper prints 1,000 copies, there's 1,000 impressions. But that doesn't mean everybody read it. When someone reads it, now that's reach. And the question is, how many impressions to the reach do we get? Or how many reaches do we get for the impressions? The goal here is to make sure your impressions are likely, because you're paying for every impression one way or the other, whether you paid for your sign, which is an impression. You got one impression out there, and every car goes by. Did they read it? Did they connect with it? That's an impression and a reach. What?
It's kind of like a bang for your buck.
Yeah,
right? Your impression's your bang,
that.
And then, but the question is, did you make the buck out of that?
Right.
So
did you
bang,
make a reach?
Did you make the reach?
Right. Did you reach? Exactly. So, for instance, when I do advertising for my company, I target my ads to clergy rather than lay people. It's not that I have anything opposed to lay people. Our churches need to be filled with lay people.
And you reach a lot of lay people,
leaders and
leaders.
That's right.
Right, lay leaders.
But what I really want is my impressions to show up at the right places. So I want my impressions to show up in, say Facebook, on a clergy person's newsfeed. That's where I want that impression to show up. Now, hopefully, and we'll talk about that in a moment, hopefully they see that and it resonates with them, and there we are. But just because you get out there, just because you start throwing stuff out there, doesn't mean that anyone or everyone is paying attention. And that's why reach is so critical, because you have to catch their attention. It's not just about throwing your ad up. One of the things we do in the church, I've seen all the time, is we create Facebook posts that are devotional and whatnot, hoping that people out there will see it and be inspired. The reality is the only people probably who are seeing those and being inspired are already Christians. So if we're going to have to change our reach or our message, if you will, to try and get them to go, oh, that's for me.
But I want to add to that,
Yeah,
right?
please,
Because
yeah.
a lot of people, or a lot of us, right, are doing those messages or those devotionals and whatnot, not just hoping to reach somebody to like make their day better or do whatever, but there's this sense in there that we want them to come to church, right? And there is
That's the hope. That's
it's
right.
like we're not just looking for an audience. Well, some of us are looking for an audience, right? But there's that hope that they'll come in, but that's not really the right impression for that result, for that reach.
It's the wrong message.
Right.
For that
Yeah,
reach.
exactly.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
So listen, here's how it works. And we're about ready to get into the real work here. So hang with us. All right, effective reach, which means I paid attention to it. When that is effective, it brings what we call a lead. In other words, that's a potential customer. They go, oh, wow.
Potential parishioner for you.
Yeah. But for me,
For a customer,
let me
right,
stay here.
a
Okay,
potential minister.
Okay, let me stay with my metaphor.
Okay.
Then we'll make
Oops,
the lead.
sorry, I
okay?
jumped ahead.
So effectively, a good reach brings a lead. And every lead is a potential customer. And that's the end goal of the whole impressions and reach thing, is that someone's going to see it and someone's going to walk the path to become a customer, so to speak. Now, when we have the end in mind, then we can plan backwards. It's called reverse engineering. And we've talked about reverse engineering in the past. And,
Sure.
So here's how I do and how marketing, because I've been trained in marketing, how I reach my audience. I said, okay, what's the product I have? Okay, I've got this product. Great. What are the benefits of this product? If I don't know the benefits, then what? So when someone buys this product or accesses this product, what do I hope they're going to get out of it?
Well,
Go ahead.
I really want to make it, because let's be real. The Effective Church and your Growing Church Network, and the Growing Church
the product.
Network, that's your product. I mean, let's tell them.
Okay.
Let's just show
All right,
them
okay.
what you're doing.
All right. So the Growing Church Network is a pastor training and coaching package that I offer. Okay. So that's the product. Now, what are the benefits? The benefits are pastors stay focused, and pastors stay focused on the mission critical. They set their priorities, and their churches grow.
And you help them set their priorities.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Exactly. And so that's the program. And the
And the
benefits
churches
are
grow.
and
Go
churches
ahead.
grow. That's the ultimate benefit. Is churches grow by making more disciples. It's not just getting butts and seats. It's about making more disciples. All right. So that's the product. There's the benefits. I know what they are. Now, who's my ideal client? Well, my ideal client is a pastor. It's really hard to lead in a church from the second seat. You have to be the one up front. So I try to reach the pastors who are really in charge of growing the church. That's part of their responsibility. And so now the question is, how do I get their attention? And that's about the messaging. What is the message I'm trying to get out there that when they're scrolling through or they're driving by and see a billboard? I don't do billboards, but whatever, that they would go, wow, that's for me. That's something I'm interested in. So that's my messaging. And then how do I get my product in front of them? How do I get them to, once they buy it or before they buy it, how do I give them the information so they can buy it? So there's 5 steps. Know your product, know the benefits, know who your ideal client is, or the one who's most likely to go, yeah, I want that. How do you get their attention? And then how do you get that product in front of them? The church works the same way, folks. It works the same way. We just don't tend to call it marketing because, as you say, that tends to be a word that the church goes, ooh, that's so secular, it's so humanist, it's so, but let's be real. We're going to learn from Jesus, who did marketing. I mean, he sent his apostles out in advance. They were the advance team to go to every village to prepare the crowd, prepare the people there so they could have a crowd when Jesus arrived. That's marketing. It's word of mouth marketing, but it's marketing. So, there's nothing wrong with saying, how do we reach people for Jesus Christ effectively? Jesus didn't go out intentionally. I mean, he didn't say my target audience is the Romans. He didn't exclude the Romans. I mean, he healed the centurion servant and etc. He even said, pay your taxes to support this oppressive government. But the bottom line is he came for the lost sheep of Israel. Then Paul became the ambassador to the Gentiles and so on. But they had their target audience. There's nothing wrong with that. And what it does is it makes the church more effective, which is what we want. Because the more people that you can effectively reach means the more people who become disciples of Jesus Christ, and they have a broader audience than you have, and as they reach their neighbors, those who they have influence with, they'll reach theirs, and ultimately, our influence is pretty wide, and we begin to reach everybody. That's the goal. But to do that effectively, we start with those that we can reach, and we work from there. So the rest of this episode, we want to talk about how do you take those 5 things and apply them to the church so that you can have more baptisms next year, so you can have more people coming and worshiping and participating and contributing and doing missions and reaching people for Jesus Christ. Because, folks, that's what it's about, and that's what we're all about.
Yeah, well, which one of us wouldn't want a church full of people who are sold out to Jesus?
That's right.
I mean, right?
That's
What
kind of
can
the
you
goal.
say, right? Faithful and everything else. And I could make the argument. I could make the argument. Well, I don't want all my pews to be people sold out to Jesus because I want people who are not yet Christians.
That's a good
no
observation.
longer Christians, right? So we want them all, but that all goes hand in hand, right?
And if we have a church that's filled with people who are sold out to Jesus, we'll have 2 and 3 services because, as you say, we need the people who are not sold out to Jesus to hear the message, make the connections, and that's where all of this comes into practice.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so there was something I was going to ask you. Oh, yes, now I remember. I haven't had a chance to look at what this week's workbook is. What's this week's workbook that's going with this?
This week we're talking about the Avatar Design Workbook. It's a workbook to help you determine your target audience so well, so closely, that when it comes time to develop your message, develop your events, develop whatever it takes to reach people, you can create that just like I create my ads for clergy. You'll be able to create what you're offering that the reach will be, oh, wow. And the message will go, man, I need to see that. I need to go there. I need to be a part of that.
Okay, so while you may just have hit like, oh, wow, okay, that looks like a cute little couple on there, or like they know what they're talking about, or like maybe whatever, you've stopped and so stop by, or maybe you're one of our regulars and you're watching this and you've already got your pencil or pen and paper or whatever in hand to make some notes. But that if you're just like dropping by, or you don't usually bring paper and pencil, or get one. And so put us on pause right now so that you can do, because we have questions
Unless
for you to be
live,
thinking
and then
about.
You're kind of out of luck. You can't put it on
can't
pause.
do it on live. Oh, okay.
No, but the recording will be available on YouTube, on Facebook, and on our churchtalk.tv
just
site.
share this real quick to yourself. Like I do that sometimes. I just share to myself so I can go back to it.
Right.
I'm sure there's another way.
So get out your piece of paper and pencil, because we want you to take notes, because what we're going to talk about today is really effective. It will help you and your church to begin reaching people that you're not yet reaching. And folks, isn't that the point? That you want to reach the people that you're not yet reaching. Now, there's a lot more to it, but let's just start with the basics of let's get their attention and get them moving our direction.
Okay, so he mentioned it first. You have to get clear about what you're offering. Because, a lot of times we say
reverse engineering. Remember, you're starting at the goal first. So what are we offering?
Right. Okay. So
what are we offering?
Wait. I just want to say is that so often we start with who we want to reach.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
But we have to be clear about what we're offering.
Right.
So, marketing isn't end all be all with what we offer. So this could be your worship service that you're offering. Maybe that's a centerpiece.
Absolutely. No, that's right. But it's not just the worship service. Okay, if that's what are you offering? Okay, it's a worship service, and how is it designed? What does that package look like? What is that worship service? Is it filled with people who have silver hair? There's nothing wrong with that. The question is how are you going to, eventually you're going to say, how do we market this to who is the most ideal client, who's likely to come? But you want to know the package. It's not just worship. It's you
right.
want to know more
I
about
get
it.
that. Right. Okay.
Right.
So, because we're going to talk about the target audience in a moment, but maybe a better way of saying what am I offering is, what does it look like? Be more specific than a worship. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Kind of, yeah. It's like I offer training. Who wants to buy training?
What do you do?
I offer training and coaching for pastors to grow their church. That's the thing. So
okay, but now we're combining questions 1, 2, and 3. Maybe
not
we
really.
should.
I haven't talked about the benefits in that. I just said
Okay,
this is
but
what I offer
for
and to
that,
who.
so we've gone 1 and 3.
Not really.
Okay, well that's how I'm
A
hearing it.
little bit. Okay.
Remember,
Right.
I'm sequential
Okay,
at
all right.
times. I can
But
do random well, but
Right.
now we're not all
here's-
random here.
Your worship service,
Yeah.
and you're going to offer a worship service, and the worship service is, let's just make it, it's a traditional worship service, it's a classic worship service, it's a blended worship service. What is this worship service? We're going to create an event. We're going to create, every year we have a Christmas bazaar. We want to get people to come. Okay, so it's a Christmas bazaar. Well, by definition, by the title, you've given the definition. A worship service is so generic.
Right, I get that. So this is what I was going to say more on
Right.
that. Okay, so what I'm thinking, what am I offering? Well, write down what are its components? Like, what is it that you're offering? Because quite honestly, that may get us to thinking about just what the heck we are offering.
Right.
That's another piece of this, because there's a lot of times I've served a couple churches which, in an interim transitional kind of place where, you start to do that work and you're like, ooh, why, this is nothing. This is what everybody's. So what are you offering? And if we could use, for example, like, could we play with this, with an example?
I don't know, we'll see.
Well, because it's May, and hopefully if you're offering Vacation Bible School, and that's what you do, you're already thinking about this. But let's use Vacation Bible School as our example, okay? So what are you offering? Vacation Bible School. Whoop-de-doo. So the question is.
But I want behind the Vacation Bible School and behind the worship, what we're really offering is a full abundant life that Jesus offers in a relationship with Jesus.
Okay, say that slowly so they can write it down.
A full and abundant life.
A full and abundant life
In relationship with Jesus.
in a relationship with
Okay,
Jesus.
so that's the ultimate we're offering. But then we're talking about the package. It's like I have my Growing Church Network. Okay, but what am I really offering? I'm offering a strategy and the tools to help you grow your church and reach people for Jesus Christ. Same deal, but this is the package that we're offering. This is what we're asking people to come to or be a part of, etc. So there's a worship service that is designed, a worship service, and right now it is a traditional worship service.
I want to go back to Vacation Bible School.
Okay, right,
Okay, because I really want them to be able to use this if possible, if they're using a Vacation Bible School. Okay. We won't be able to exactly do that. But okay, you're having a Vacation Bible School. So what we tend to do is put big old signs out there and say Vacation Bible School. And we made an impression,
we'll
right?
put the title out there.
And we'll put the title. And there are really cool Vacation Bible School programs out there.
Kids and pirates. Arr.
Arr, yeah, animals. We've done all kinds of fun things. But okay, so what are you offering? And what does that mean? Because there are people who have they hear Vacation Bible School and they don't really care. So, all right, what are you offering? And now you're going to ask, what are the benefits?
And now the benefits are going to be twofold. What are the benefits for your ideal client? Well, I got news for you. You think your ideal client is the kids. It's not. Your ideal client is the parents. That's who you're trying to ultimately reach. It's great to have a church full of kids, and we know a lot of churches who have done this, where they've done busing programs and whatnot, filled the church with kids, and then realize the parents aren't coming.
Right.
And so now they're taking care of kids,
right,
doing daycare and babysitting, and they're sharing Jesus with them,
right,
and they're making disciples out of them.
Right.
But let's be honest. Kids don't write checks. Kids don't volunteer in the programming, and kids bring in more kids, and they may or may not bring their parents. But again, if your target audience, if you understand that the kids are beneficiaries, absolutely. What are the benefits of the kids? But what are the benefits for the parents? Because they're the ones who are going to decide whether or not the kids go.
That's exactly right. They decide whether or not the kids go and whether or not the kids get there, or how the
Right.
kids are going to get
Right,
there. I mean,
exactly.
and because schedules can be really tough. So how you're going to have to help with that. So I
there's a
mean,
lot of
what are the
competition.
benefits?
There's a lot of competition
I mean,
out there, too.
what are the benefits? I mean, some churches are offering Vacation Bible School during the day because the benefit is, hey, you can drop your child off in the morning and then
Right.
come in the afternoon. Right? Parents are looking for things for their kids to do.
Right. There's some Vacation Bible School that starts first thing in the morning and it ends up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock at night. So the kids are there all day. So it's more like a day camp. So
Well,
the parents,
right. I mean, we're in competition. Churches
are,
are
absolutely.
with day camps. Everybody and then
sports
some.
camps and.
Right. So
just
here's a
own
week
it
you
and
can
work
do
forward.
it. Right. So that may be it. It may be a family-focused Vacation Bible School.
Could be in the evenings.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So there's something for the whole family. You might have dinner with that, breakfast, lunch. So, what are the benefits to
Well, with what you said, though, I want to just real quick clarify.
Sure.
Those aren't benefits. Those were features.
Well, the benefit is I'm feeding my kid.
The benefit is you don't have to feed your kid.
Right.
The feature is we offer.
Oh, do you hear this?
Yeah.
Not just semantics.
Right. No,
Say
it's
it
a
again.
huge difference.
Say it
Okay?
again.
So the feature is we offer lunch. Let's do the normal Vacation Bible School or dinner, whatever. We offer a meal. The benefit is you don't have to cook tonight. The benefit is your child comes home with a nutritious. We didn't give them Cocoa Puffs just before in a sweet tart or sweet roll before we sent them home or before we sent them off to school. Anyway, the benefit is for the parent is you don't have to feed your children. That's a benefit. The reason that people don't
You don't
buy
have to make dinner.
yeah, people don't buy on features. People don't participate on features. We have great coffee at church. We are very friendly. Those are features. Okay, you're going to make a friend and be able to share your life over a hot cup of coffee. That's the benefit.
Okay.
The difference.
So there is a difference. Thank you for pointing that out and teaching me this morning. So here's what I really want to challenge you. This is tough stuff, right? So I want you to take some time as you're thinking about what you're featuring and really test for the benefit.
And every feature
be
has a
right,
benefit.
Right. Yeah, obviously.
You just have to rethink it.
Right? Okay. So,
All right.
so we can just touch on this next one.
Right,
We're watching time here. I am. Haha. Imagine me watching time. So the third was something we have been teaching you over and over again.
And we'll continue to teach
Yes,
it.
we will. And that's who's your receptive target audience, your avatar. Who are you trying to reach?
So let's just real quick, let's do Vacation Bible.
Let's
Continue
do it.
Vacation Bible School, okay?
Yeah.
Putting an ad in the senior newspaper, and if there's a seniors newspaper in your town, and I don't know that I've ever seen one, or advertising at the senior center, probably not the best use of your funds, time, and etc. Because yes, they may have grandkids, but they're probably not the ones doing the transportation, making the decision, and all that. Now, there's nothing wrong with advertising there. It's just not going to be as effective as if you're advertising in the PTA email that went out to every
Peach jar.
yeah.
We have that at our school.
I know that, but it may not be a national thing. So
It is.
Okay. Anyway, getting that out to folks, getting that messaging out to the most receptive people who have kids. If you send it out to the high school, it's going to be a yawn. No one's going to look at it because this Vacation Bible School is for, and so you're targeting. Again, nothing wrong with targeting. You're not excluding anyone. You're just saying where's the most receptive audience of people who are going to see the impressions and go, okay, great. I want to get my kid there because I see this as available.
Okay, so this one I'm going to need some help with. The fourth question is, what's our message? What is our reach? So what exactly do you mean when we say that?
All right, so here's what I see a lot of churches do. Vacation Bible School, May 12th to 18th. That's a message, but it's not much of a message. It's really more of a fact. A message is, and of course, when I'm writing messages and when most marketers that offer messages, they do one of two things. They either touch on the pain point that the parent, in this case, is dealing with, or they deal with one of the major benefits, or you can combine that. So what's a pain point that parents have during summer? How do I keep my kids occupied? How do I get them out from behind the game console? How do I get them to go outside and play? What do I do? Because both my husband and I work and there's no one at home, or I'm a single parent and I don't know what to do with my kids. I can't afford daycare and childcare and so on. Those are pain points. So your message might be what we call the headline. The message, the top thing you put out there on your marquee, you put it on your Facebook, wherever, put it on your flyers, etc., is how to help. We can help your kids. We can take your kids off your hands for a whole week, and it won't cost you anything. We want to embrace your kids and help them. That may be a little more touchy-feely than most parents want, but we will embrace and bathe your child in love and acceptance and so that you can go to work safely. Blah blah. Without worrying about your child. We're going to keep your kid entertained. They're going to have a great time, and you're going to be the hero for bringing them. All those are pretty bad because we did this off the top of our head.
On your head, right?
And I had no idea we were doing Vacation Bible School when we sat down here. I was going to do worship, but anyway, that
always relevant. Yes.
Your message is hits the pain point and says we have a solution. So I'm going to do worship for a minute.
Yeah.
So let's say we want young families to come. What are some of the problems young families have? Maybe young families in your community. Let's say that the mill shut down or the factory shut down, and a lot of young families were affected by that. So you could do a sermon series, do a worship service or a series of worship services that are designed for. You can talk about making money, but you can talk about the need for one another in times of crisis. What's the pain point? I feel all alone in this. So you nail that down and say, hey, our message is we're offering 4 weeks on how to band together and survive this tough time. Kind of did that during COVID.
Yeah.
Anyway, the message is when they're scrolling through, they go, oh, I need that. I see that. And they stop scrolling, if you will. That's what this is all about. It's having a message that resonate with people and go, oh. And it becomes a reach issue because it's like, oh, I stopped. I've been connected with this.
Okay, so we still want to talk about how we get that message out, but I need to say this because I've been watching this conversation and kind of just had this not too many minutes ago, not with you, and that is we've got this rise of people who are talking against the church, even though they're in the church. And we're in this political year. I mean, let's just toss it out there. And there's a lot of stuff being touted about this brand of Christianity or religion back and forth. The word Christian nationalism keeps popping up in more liberal places, and that's to say, not everybody's has a good view about church. So we've really got to, to keep talking about, not you, right, us in church, about church and worship and stuff like that. We've really all the more got to get to the benefits.
Absolutely.
We've got to get that message across and get off the mamby-pamby stuff that we do and trying to sell what we've always been trying to sell, which really we do have benefits. My word, if we do have benefits, but we've got to get that going so that we can really have reach. And because without that reach, we're not going to overcome the impressions of what, now I'm playing semantics,
Yeah,
right?
you are.
We're not going to overcome the impressions people have of us, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so that last part is how do we get the message in front of our avatar?
And
We've been touching on them,
it's about
but
the
go
pain
ahead.
and about the benefits. Okay, that's where you get a message. Okay, the last thing is, how do you get that message? Once you have a message, this is what we're going to communicate. How do you get that in front of the avatar? How do we get that in front of the most likely people who are going to go, yeah, how are we going to get Vacation Bible School advertising? How are we going to let people know who have kids in our community who would be most receptive and likely to show up or bring their kids to our Vacation Bible School? So probably this would be the perfect place. One of the great things would be if you could get some sort of a reciprocal deal with all the daycares and all the other camps or whatever in town,
that's awesome.
so that they would market for you. Now, it's not likely to happen, but that would be a perfect place.
It is if you have an in.
Yeah, if you have
Right,
an in,
I mean,
right?
we've seen
but
that.
that would be a perfect place. The other place, of course, is, as you say, advertising through Peach Jar, which is a school distribution system of emails. Getting the word out where the kids are hanging out. I don't remember the name of the place, but it's a trampoline business in town. The kids come and jump on trampolines all day, and there's the bounce house places and so on. If you can get your flyers there, you get someone to talk about it there, etc. Where can you get places not to put it? Probably is in the newspaper, unless you're in a very small town and everybody gets a newspaper. Most young people don't read newspapers. On the other hand, there's 3 billion active users on Facebook. Facebook might be a pretty good place to put it in your community, or Instagram, or doing some fun with TikTok,
Yeah,
social media.
Oh, TikTok, have fun with TikTok.
Yeah, so the question is, how do we get that message out?
Right.
And that base is based on your avatar. Again, we're looking for young families for this, and that's how this works, folks. What are we offering? What are the benefits? What's our most receptive target audience who wants what we have? What's the message that if they see that message, they go, I want that, I need that, my kids need that, whatever. And then how do we get that message in front? If you'll play those 5, you'll get the impressions in the right place. You'll get the reach. They'll stop scrolling, and you might get a connection with someone who comes for this but discovers Jesus Christ.
We are beyond out of time. We have to stop.
Yep. And so there's the avatar workbook in the description right there. You can grab it. And if you want to talk with me about the Growing Church Network and how you, pastor, can be equipped.
Or you're a pastor.
If you're a pastor. Yeah, how to be equipped, and how to be coached, and how to set your priorities, and how to grow your church.
For Jesus.
I'm happy to have that conversation. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Have a great week. Have some fun.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.